What's going on, guys? I'm Mighty back here again with the weekly Rust skins videos, and today we have a continuation of a decent amount of things. We've got the Glister set continuing, Neo Soul set continuing, the Pixel set continuing, and the Scientific Comps storage set continuing. So let's get started with the Glister M249. This is going for $2.75, and overall, I'm straight up just going to say it now, I'm not going to recommend investing in the Glister M249, and that is just because for most players, it's too hard to get the M249, and so the demand for M249 skins isn't very high. Also, of course, you can't really craft, so sometimes people might forget to actually skin their M2s and forget the fact that they actually have an M2 skin. So overall, I don't think this is going to be a very good investment. Although it is only $2.75, I do think you get it for a little bit cheaper on the community market with a buy order. Overall, I don't even think you would make money if you pick it up as a play skin. So overall, I'm not going to recommend investing in the Glister M249 off of the Rust I'm store for this week. Alright, moving over to the Neo Soul Tommy. This is going for $2.75. This is a continuation of the Neo Soul set. We've had three other weapons so far, and they are the Neo Soul AK going for $1.61 with 240 quantity on the community market, Neo Soul SAR going for $2.76 with 86 quantity on the community market, and the final skin that was latest to be released was the Neo Soul MP5 going for $3.83 with 79 quantity on the community market. So at the moment, I do think that the Neo Soul Thompson is going to outperform all three of those skins. I do think the Tommy is pretty meta at the moment, especially when you're chucking it on a holo. So I do think that it will perform better as long as it doesn't get oversaturated, which is likely to happen. But as long as it doesn't get oversaturated, then I do see the Neo Soul Thompson making you some pretty easy short-term profits. Even if it does get oversaturated, though, I do think it's still going to make you profits as a long-term investment, and so I will recommend investing in the Neo Soul Tommy off of the rest of them store for this week. Alright, moving over to the Python going for $2.75. This is a standard store price for weapons and tools, and overall this is definitely a very unique looking Python skin, as it does have the Python snake wrapped around the barrel of the gun going all the way down to the hammer. So overall, I do actually like what this Python skin is, but unfortunately, Python skins aren't the best investments. I do think that a lot of people do usually tend to skip over them. They go SAR, then straight to a Tommy, or straight to a custom or MP5, etc. And so I don't think the Python gets the love that it deserves, especially when it's such a beastly gun. And because of that, I'm not going to recommend investing in the Python off of the Rust store for this week, as I just don't think that Python skins have a very high demand on the community market. And so I do think you'll be able to get this one for a little bit cheaper with the community market buy order. And then if you pick it up like that as a play skin, then I do think down the line you will be able to make profits off of it. But overall, I don't think the Python is going to be a very good investment off of the Rust store for this week. Alright, moving over to the Skull Killer AR. This is an AK skin going for $3.45. And overall, it's actually pretty nice, relatively unique. For an AK skin, it's just got this straight up blue, black, and a little bit of gold theme happening with it, and it does have a cheeky little skull on the receiver of the gun, and then also when you're ADSing, you've got another cheeky little skull at the back of it as well, which overall I actually think the back ADS skull looks relatively high quality in comparison to a lot of ADS pictures on the back of guns, just because I know that Rust skins do get compressed when they actually get added to the game. So overall, the Skull Killer AR, unfortunately, I'm not going to recommend investing in it just because, one, it's $3.45, but also two, AK skins, there's just so many of them on the community market already that unfortunately I don't think the demand is going to be there. Everyone already has their own favorite AK skin. They want to pick up that specific one instead of getting something random. So there's just so many AKs on the market that it does make it a lot harder to invest in AK skins off the Rust store. If you want to pick this one up, then go ahead. You'll probably be able to sell it for around this price when you get sick of it. But overall, I'd recommend getting this one with a community market buy order if you do want to try and invest in it. And so I will not recommend investing in the Skull Killer AR off the Rust store for this week. And moving over to the final weapon or tool, we have the Toxic Hammer going for $3.45 as well. Now, I'm getting mixed emotions with this one because I don't know if it's glowing or not. In the workshop, which is what I'm looking at the skins on, not actually in game, it shows screenshots of it glowing, but above the text where it usually says that the skin is glowing, it doesn't say that the skin is glowing. So is the skin glowing or not? That's a good question. We're getting lots of mixed signals here. Overall, $3.45, I would imagine that it would be glowing, but I do think that either way, Hemiskins are usually a decent investment, and toxic themed skins are also a good investment. Just for example, like the Toxic Furnace, like a lot of Rust players seem to love the toxic stuff, and I guess that's probably because it relates a lot to their personalities. But overall, I do think the Toxic Hammer will likely perform pretty well. I do think that you could get this one for a little bit cheaper at the very beginning of the community market with a buy order. But even if you buy it off the Rustum store, I do think you can make money off of it. So overall, I will recommend investing in the Toxic Hammer off of the Rustum store for this week, and I do think it'll be a good long-term investment. Alrighty, moving over to the Pixel Armored Door. This is a continuation of the Pixel set, and overall, this has been a very popular set that so far has had 13 items released, not including the Pixel Armored Door, now this being the 14th item. So overall, I do think that the Pixel Armored Door can make you money, but I do think it's going to be a long-term investment. Of course, it doesn't glow, so that doesn't help when it comes to deployables, especially armored doors, especially when you get glowing armored doors for free off of the Twitch events. So it does make it a little bit harder to invest in, especially when it's starting off at $3.45. I do think you could get this one for a little bit cheaper with the buy order on the community market. But even if you got it off the Rustum store, I do think as a long-term investment, you could make profit off of it. The Pixel set is very popular, and it just seems to forever continue to come out. So I wouldn't predict this to be the last of the Pixel skins to be released, but surely we are getting pretty close to the end. So overall, I will recommend investing in the Pixel Armored Door off of the Rustum store for this week, but also I'd recommend getting a buy order happening and trying to get it off the community market for a little bit cheaper as well if you are planning on investing in multiple of these. So overall, that is my opinions for the Pixel Armored Door for this week. And now let's move over to the Ruin Garage Door made by Bad Trip. Now, this one is actually pretty cool because it does blend in a lot, like quite well with the stone walls, and I do think that's pretty sick. Also, this one is a glowing deployable. It's going for $4.15, so that's above center store price for even glowing deployables, which in my opinion is a shame, but it is what it is. And really, there isn't actually that much glow. So there's clearly no glow on the top of the garage door, as in when the garage door is closed, you can't see any glow. Although when it's down, then it does have the glowing eyes and the glowing gems. So overall, it's definitely a unique looking garage door skin. I do see it performing well, but unfortunately, it's starting off at $4.15. I'd recommend picking this one up with the buy order on the community market if you are to invest in it. I do think that this can make you money, but I do think you're going to need to get it with a buy order to maximize potential profits. So overall, that is what I'm going to recommend to do. I won't recommend investing in it off the Rustum store, but I will recommend investing in it on the community market for this week. Alrighty, last but not least, we're moving over to the Scientific Component Storage Box, going for $3.45 stand store price for glowing deployables. And this is a continuation, of course, of the Scientific Storage set, if you guys are new to the channel. And this has been a very successful set, as was Neon Storage. This is very similar, but with a more scientific approach to it, apparently. So overall, I do think that the Scientific Component Storage set will perform well. The Neon Storage set, which is the closest thing to this set, the comps box went for around about like $7.50 or something like that on the community market right now, which is very good. And I do think that the Scientific Component Storage won't perform as well, mainly because I do think that this one's going to sell probably more on the Rustum store and have a higher quantity on the community market. But I do still think that it's going to perform above the $3.45 mark. So overall, I will recommend investing in the Scientific Component Storage box off of the Rustum store for this week. And I do think it's going to make you profit. And now we move over to the cart. Alrighty guys, this is my cart for this week. So I'm getting at least one of everything except for the AK. I'm not getting the AK, and I'm getting 2 of the Neon Soul Thompsons and also 3 of the Scientific Comp Storage boxes. It's going to cost me $32.40. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video, and remember, have a skits one.
Why? 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 Why?